The last speaker for this morning's first part of the session is Matt Capone. He's principal of Facades X. And right after that, we'll have a break, and then I'll ask the speakers from this first session to come back up for some photos. So thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Christian. Yeah, I want to talk about my world of facades, and it's really varied over my career as starting almost as an architect, and 15 years ago, going into Christian's office when it was a third floor walk-up of some apartment building and lugging my isocorbs up there. So that's right, we come a long way since then. So yeah, Matt Capone, I'm a Boston guy. Like I said, almost an architect. My company is Facades X, and so I'm talking about my world of facades, and this does vary over time. And so this is this year's journey. We are manufacturers, representatives of many innovative, sustainable, high-performance products really from around the world. And our goal is to bring in new product to provide value to stakeholders here and basically find a way to stitch unique pieces together all across the facade, whether it's a rain screen, the front of the building, the side, back. And so I spoke last year about really bringing value to the facade. And so through these partners, we're able to do that. A lot of imported product, but of course, a lot of product made in the USA here. So this is one of our partners, STACBOND. This is an ACM manufacturer from Spain, already doing work here in the US. And part of what we do is help them understand requirements to work here, what it takes for testing, and what it takes really for capabilities. So one of the big things that's required is testing, right? So all kinds of air and wind and water testing, but of course, fire testing. So everybody knows NFPA 285 as a requirement, and there's sort of a new twist coming. So manufacturers are aware of this test before they get here, but now we have some things that are changing. So here's a twist, right? So this is New York City 2022 building code. If you pass NFPA 285, or if you need to pass it, that's a great thing. But now we're talking about fire blocking, adding a new wrinkle to rain screens to basically limit the propagation of fire. So this note basically says that for many materials, that fire blocking is necessary even if you've passed 285. And so we're now beginning to push these manufacturers and designers to understand what's needed in a rain screen, what the requirements are, and how to meet these requirements. And so part of our goal is to provide really a full response to this. So one of the responses is to use basically compartmentalization. So this is a requirement for rain screens of a certain, let's say, combustibility for buildings over a certain size. Let's call this most in New York City, most of the commercial world. So we're talking about barriers at each floor line and limiting a compartment to 200 square feet of net area, right? So now we have to mix these into these facades. How do we do that? We talk about a rain screen, right? We need the principles of rain screen. We need this air and water flow. We want the back of the panels to dry. We want them to last. We want the building to work properly. So if we put a barrier in here, like as seen on the right, you're really trapping a lot of moisture. So we need an answer for this. So we've developed a relationship and now a partnership with a viable solution for this. So this is our partner, Siderise from the UK. They work worldwide, really, in fire prevention and passive systems. And so you need to ventilate, you need to drain, but you also need to prevent this fire. So fairly innovative yet simple system where the gap is open under normal conditions. And when in the event of a fire, it's actually an intermittent block on the edge of this fire stop that will allow it to close and trap that fire. So very important. This is required now worldwide for many facades, and now the US, New York City is really the first to adopt this requirement for 2022. And I think the design community is still really kind of figuring out exactly how to address this, but here we offer a solution that can for sure work. So, come on. Oh, here we go. So many of the conditions, when you have it in a horizontal layer, we're requiring then to have this intumescent so it can be open. Where it's vertical, you don't really need that. So you're just compressing insulation in. So here you see several details and a bit of a demonstration of a fire test. So our partner Siderise have already conducted over 130 NFPA 285 tests with manufacturers around the world, with systems providers, unitizers, and really trying to address this problem, again, starting in the UK, but now spreading to the Middle East and North Africa, and now officially here with testing and requirements. Because when I was with Christian, the thermal brakes weren't required and they were omitted, right? So we have to follow what the technology can bring us, what the codes are, and then find the best way to meet them. So there are a lot of conditions that are pretty simple. There are some that are actually very unique. So if you look at these fins up and down these towers, you see this this wedge shape with an inset, right? So how do you pack that? How do you address that? So we have a solution. So custom, of course, where needed. So think about the shapes and ins and outs of your facade. Where do you need this? And so this system is built to have all around that perimeter to maintain an open area. And so Siderise has really designed a very simple system. Simplicity is really the core. Their core, starting 50 years ago in business, is really about slab edge fire stop. And so here you see the development of a fire in a commercial building with a curtain wall condition, right? So you see the critical area is the yellow, basically that's your slab edge. That's where the fire wants to propagate up, and then it's gonna go up and break through the glass and eventually work its way back in. But we'll have enough time, and the whole idea is that that slab edge has a 2 to 3 hour rating as needed with the building to match that. So it's versatile for many conditions, many configurations, vertical, horizontal. So you think about where your shear walls are, how your slabs work, and your ins and outs. So it's a very simple system that requires no intumescence and also no second step of applying goo. So this system, basically the simplicity is that it's a pre-compressed stone wool. And you see here, it's under dynamic testing here for an EN test. And then after it's dynamic tested, it's then burned to test how it will perform after a seismic event or after a long-term life. So really the simplicity here is that it's a one-step system. It meets the US codes. And so they've spent many years developing product and working to EN and British standards. But now this summer have officially passed ASTM 2307, 2874, and now fully UL and ICC certified and listed. And so we're onward in the market. Basically, we're showing how the installation works. You measure, you cut, you insert a bracket, and you just push it in. So the typical systems are often 2 parts, which require more labor, more time, more cost. And you see how a simple installation is being done here from below. Obviously, somewhere near the Burj Khalifa. And we're already doing demonstration projects and submittals and pre-design and working with contractors, working with installers, working with design teams and consultants to really find the best way to maybe change the mind a bit to find how this gets into the market here and really can bring value to what we're doing and what we need to do. So that's Siderise. We have some demonstration products over at the table. My world takes me all over the place, and so next week I'm off to Germany. We're beginning development with a partner in Germany, 3D printed concrete. And so I hope to come back with some more evidence here. But this is just the beginning. And so this is my world. Thank you. And to my team that's here, we're a growing team and love what we're doing and appreciate your time. Let's get some break.
Thanks, Matt. That's great. That's great. Yes, just stay on here. I love the animated slides and the fire stopping, the videos. That's great explanation and the deep dive into how that works. So thank you. So we'll take a half-hour break. Let's reconvene at 11:30.